Hello, YouTube. All right, I hope it's not too windy. I do have the mic on, so hopefully it'll subdue the wind, even though it is pretty breezy out here. I just wanted to show you what self-quarantine or self-isolation in Florida looks like. Basically, I when I get off work and stuff, when I'm not working on the second job or the RV, I try to find time for myself to just get away from everyone. And honestly, it's not any different than my normal routine. So this whole corona thingy scare or whatever everybody's going through right now, as far as with my schedule and stuff, it doesn't really impact me too much, you know, on my off time, because I'm normally by myself anyways. But, you know, in a lot of ways, I'm very thankful to be here in Florida, because I know that some people in certain areas having to self-isolate, they end up having to lock themselves in their apartment or their house or whatever, and can start to get like cabin fever. But here in Florida, at least in this area, it's not too crowded yet. So how's the video looking? Getting static? Let me see, when I mess with the microphone, is that any better? Is that any better when I do that? Does it sound better? I don't know, this mic here. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. How is the audio? So it's not any better. What if I do this? Is this any better? Well, this sucks. Well, I'm gonna try removing the mic. Now how does it sound? Probably really windy. So you were getting static with the microphone. I'm trying to figure out why it does this sometimes. It's the same mic that I had the other day and it was clear, and then other days it's not clear. It's actually a new mic, so maybe this mic sucks. You're saying this is better, so you're not hearing the wind? It's like really, really, really windy here. I don't know if you can see the leaves moving. I mean, it's not super windy, but it's breezy enough. So I have the mic unhooked right now. It's this little lavalier, this little clip-on mic. But you know how whenever I film without the mic, people say that the wind. So, and if I move, maybe the wind will hit it, or maybe it won't. If it doesn't hit, that's really good. Well, this phone, I do have a case on it, so maybe that blocks the wind. I don't know. Found my little sit-down spot. Perfect spot to sit and chill before they kick me out of here. This park shuts down at sunset, so I got like about an hour or so that I can chill out here. But yeah, how you guys doing? How's everybody doing out there? So you guys can hear the wind now. Yeah, I know. Maybe I should maybe I'll order some more mics. I had a mic like this that was good, but I don't know where it went. So I had a second one that I dug out, and the second one has static. So I suspect the line is broken, you know, somewhere. I might try it again. The other day I tried recording, and it was nice, you know. So I don't know. I think the line is broken. So you guys hear the wind now. I need to figure this out. Well, it's not so much a foam cover. It's when you hear that static, there's something wrong with the cable. You know, it may be broken somewhere inside. It's a cheap mic. I think I paid like $2 or something for it, or less. I bought like 6 of them, and I gave some to my kids, and then I had 2 that I kept. And now I don't know where the other one is. I think it might be in the RV. And then had to leave there because they lock up the place, you know, at closing. So I thought I would go ahead and come here and just, oh my goodness, just take in the scene, some air, try to forget all my worries. Yeah, I wonder if being live is doing it. You know what? Rooster says that it may have something to do with being live, and it might, because, see, I tested the mic by recording it, you know, with me talking in the mic, and I didn't hear any static. But then going live, you guys are saying you're hearing static, which doesn't make any sense, but going live, even the phone works differently. You know, the cameras, like going live, I can switch. See, I can switch between live and not live. You can see how breezy it is. But I can switch cameras, and even like wide angle and front view. So there's like 3 cameras on here. And going live, it actually lets me switch all 3. You know that's an idea, Kura. Is like when you go somewhere and there's a big line, start coughing uncontrollably, and everybody will run out. Let me try again. Well, D, you're coming in a little late. The reason you don't hear static is I unhooked the mic. And then when I unhook the mic, people hear the wind. I'm going to try hooking the mic back up and see. You guys let me know how it sounds. Let's try it again. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. The microphone is now back in. Let me know if you guys hear clearly or if there's static. What do you hear? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me know what you guys hear. Is it better with the wind or is it better with the static? Okay, so the static's not as bad now. I think I need a new mic. I think I'm gonna try to order a new microphone. I do like these clip-ons though. They're pretty useful. I wish I hadn't lost my other one because my other mic was working fine. Or it could just be this new phone, because I switched phones also. How's the broadcast quality? I thought my kids had maxed out my data the other day. I had the kids on the weekend, and I turned the phone into a Wi-Fi hotspot. And basically, they kind of max it out. Okay, so Rooster says spend more than $2. I think that might be the solution. I'm gonna unplug. Okay, we're unplugged, and I'm actually walking back towards the van here, where there's gonna be less wind because the trees are blocking it, and I'm also using my body. So hopefully you guys aren't getting hit with the wind noise. I don't know how this is sounding. I wanted to show something. One of the viewers was asking. Hang on a minute. Get a little peek there as I dig out this stuff. I wanted to show the viewers, not the viewers, one of the new viewers was asking about my setup, how I have things working. Okay, let me go ahead and just take this opportunity to do a really quick tour of the computer entertainment system here and how it's all set up and what is actually here. Some of you might notice this TV now says Polaroid instead of RCA because I broke the RCA TV again. Yeah. It's the second TV I broke. So mounting a TV, a flat screen TV in a van like this, probably not the best idea unless I can get a piece of plexiglass or something. I'm thinking of trying to find plexiglass and cutting it to size and then mounting it somehow on here. Maybe with strapping it on or Velcro or something. What happened was I went by the flea market and somebody was selling a collapsible ladder, you know, a step ladder. Well, a ladder, I guess, a collapsible ladder, not a step ladder. But they were selling one that was aluminum and collapsible. And you know that I don't have a tall enough ladder to climb up on top of the RV, even though I really can't get on top of the RV. I think I'll fall through, you know, the roof. But I need to get up there because I'm trying to do the solar panels. So I bought the step ladder. He wanted like $30 for it, but I got it for $20, which I thought was a really good bargain until I broke my TV. You know, that was a TV that Charles had bought me brand new. So what had happened was I put the ladder through and accidentally hit the TV on the corner. And that's all it took. Just a little tap on the screen with the leg. And nothing, it didn't show anything, it looked fine, but when you turn it on, it had that black thing. If you've had a LED or LCD screen, then you know what I'm talking about. The screen was ruined, so the TV was ruined. So I got this from the not the flea market, from Goodwill. I was lucky enough to find it for, I think it was like $25 or something like that. So anyhow, this is sadly though, it isn't a 12 volt, it's 120 volts, so I have to run it through the inverter. So here's how the setup is right now. Okay, this TV is really cool because it has a lot of different inputs. So it's got a antenna cable, so I can run like a little, it's just a little flat, I don't know where I put it here. Well, up there somewhere in the back there is an antenna, the little cheap $15 flat antennas. That allows me to pick up local TV. I do have a VGA cable if I want to hook up a computer that only has VGA out. I also have, sadly, it only has like one HDMI input, but I have multiple HDMI things. So I have HDMI here hooked up to the Roku unit. That's what this thing is right here. See, it says Roku. The viewer was asking what it is, the little box I use to receive, Pluto TV, and if I subscribe to Netflix or anything, which I don't subscribe, but if I wanted to, I get Pluto TV, I get YouTube, I get basically anything that streams. Like if I wanted HBO Now or whatever, I could do that if I wanted to pay for those services. So how I get that with internet is my phone, the one that you're watching me film myself on right now. It has like what they call unlimited data, the highest plan, which is like $60 a month or something like that with Metro. But it does kind of cap out at a certain point, and then it'll start running like crap, which you guys saw if I do too many live streams. But anyhow, it has, I paid extra for the Wi-Fi hotspot mode. So the phone is capable of becoming a Wi-Fi hotspot access point. That means my computer, my kids' phones, the Roku, anything can use my phone here, the one that I'm filming on, as an internet device, as if it was like connected to the internet. And that allows the Roku to function just like it would in your house. So the Roku right now, it has a plug, and the plug goes into USB. So I have like USB outlets here. See, and I have multiple outlets, like a zillion USB outlets. So the Roku will run off USB, and the USB outlet there is hooked up to my house battery. So underneath here, I have basically RV battery, which is a lead acid 12 volt, but it's called deep cycle. It's designed to like charge down and then charge back up, unlike a starter, which is designed not to charge down too much. So I have one of those batteries, but then I have a second one here that I pulled out of the RV because I upgraded the RV's power packs to all brand new batteries. Do you guys remember I won some money, and then I spent pretty much all that money upgrading the RV's power system to give it, I think, 400 amp hours of batteries, and then I bought those solar panels. So that project you'll be seeing coming up. The RV is basically a super deluxe mega version of Little Blue. So anyhow, I have 200 amp hours of power here, and so the power there, you can see I even have a second inverter here, but this one, I can get it to come on. It's remember my original inverter? It did come on. So it sometimes comes on, sometimes doesn't, but I don't really need it, but I have it hooked up in case, and I'll tell you here in a minute. So right now there's no voltage. The batteries are storing 12.4. When it's full, maxed out, it says 12.8. But 12.4 is okay. This will give me about 4 or 5 hours of use, maybe 3 or 4 hours, depending on what all I'm running. So the reason it's up right now is I charge while I'm driving. So this little switch here connects the batteries to the alternator. The vehicle battery right there under the hood, which is connected to the alternator. So I charge while I'm driving using the car's alternator. When I switch this on, it connects the line. If you want to know more about this, you want to watch all the playlist videos on like the construction of Little Blue or the cooking with Denoy series, because it shows how all this is wired. But anyhow, that allows me to charge while I'm driving. And you're like, well, you got an inverter up here. Why the heck do you have another one down here? Well, this second one here is actually made to be a portable battery pack. Yeah. So if I wanted to, I can disconnect these two battery banks easily just by disconnecting, the wires that connect these two. There's two wires, positive and negative wires. But I disconnect that. Then this thing has its own inverter. It's I think a 750 watt inverter. It was like the equivalent of the power pack that I took out to the woods. If you guys followed me all the way through, I built that hut out in the woods in the middle of nowhere using power tools and a chainsaw. So I use a chainsaw mostly for cutting big pieces of wood, and then I use the jigsaw and a drill out there. I think I used the cordless drill, but I used a jigsaw that ran off the inverter, to build while I was out in the woods. And then later on, I took the power pack so I could watch TV out there in the middle of the woods and run my computer. But it turned out that, without the ability to charge out there, it didn't last very long. So I ended up taking it out there and using it for lights. And because I was using fluorescent lights, it would last, the night. But if you try to run the TV, because I had a big TV, it was like a 34-inch TV, it would only last like an hour or two, and then I lost all the power, So it wasn't that useful. It would have been useful if I had the solar panels out there, because then, I could basically live off grid and have electricity. But that's all it would take, is just a battery and an inverter. 12 volts. 120 volt power. Anyhow, let's get back to the system here, the entertainment system and how it's all set up. Okay, so if I wanted to, I can watch right now. Let me see if that's plugged in. Yeah. So right now I have it hooked up to the Roku unit, which is always on. So I'm going to turn the TV on. I don't have a remote for this TV. Oh, wait, I can't turn the TV on yet. The TV runs off 120 volts. So I have to turn on my inverter. And this is also a 750 watt inverter, and it says 12.2. It says it's lower power than the other one. That's weird. Now that one says 12.3. Okay, I don't know. They're not reading exactly the same. The batteries should be equal, but I guess the meter might be a little off. That says 12.2, this is 12.3. Anyhow, I'm going to turn this one off because we don't need this one on. Okay, so I basically have two inverters, but I don't need both. I only need one. So this is on right now. It says 12.2 volts. Is how much I have stored in the battery. So that's good enough for now. But with this on, you can see it's plugged into this multi-plug outlet, and this screen cord actually is an extension cord, and at the other end is my rice cooker. So if I want to cook rice, I plug this guy in, and then the rice cooker comes on automatically in low mode, and then when you push it down, it goes into high mode for cooking. Low mode is for warming food. So if I plugged it in, my rice cooker would come on. So I have it unplugged right now because I'm not cooking. But I'll plug it in and have the system on while I'm driving. So I generate 120 volts as I'm driving the car, and I cook the rice, and it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to cook the rice. So if I'm driving somewhere, I can have fresh rice in 15, 20 minutes. And if I'm going further than 15 or 20 minutes away, I can cook food. Like, you've seen me cook steak, you've seen me cook ribs, you've seen me cook spaghetti, all sorts of stuff. So I can use that and cook it in the rice cooker. Anyhow, I have it unplugged because it's not being used. But this black cable here that you see, 120 volt cable, goes to the TV. So with the 120 volts being generated by the car right now, and you can see it's off right now, it's all taking power from the two battery banks. I'm going to turn the TV on. So the TV right now is off. Let's turn it on. Okay, and it comes on. It says Polaroid. And it's taking the HDI in the back. The screen's coming up kind of blank right now because there's no signal. Let me see what the heck's going on here. Oh, you know what? I can't show you. Well, it says no signal, but I'm going to try to show you here. I don't know if the cable's loose or bad or what. There it goes. Okay. I can't really show you the YouTube and stuff right now because I turned off Wi-Fi sharing, Wi-Fi hotspot. The phone I'm filming from right now is everything. It's got the Wi-Fi hotspot and everything. I can have it on right now. Sometimes you see me doing that because I'm sharing internet on one device. So right now the phone is just running in normal mode and connecting to the cell tower, which is sending it up to YouTube. So I'm not running Wi-Fi. That means even though Roku's coming on and it has access to YouTube, Pluto TV, all these things that CNN and all the stuff I can watch if I want to. These are all free. I don't really pay for services. I just get the free ones. But if I want to watch these, I can watch them. And I can watch them in the car, or I can sit out here and watch if I wanted to, have an outdoor living room. And that's the deal with the Roku. The person wanted to know what it is and where you get it. This is the Roku right here, and they have actually two versions of it. This is called the Roku SE, and Walmart had it during Black Friday for I think like $18, but now it's up to I think $24. They have another one that's like $29. It's the same one, but if you can find this one in the white box called the Roku SE, it's basically this purple thing right here and the remote, and they include a high-speed HDMI cable, and I think they give you a USB cable with a plug adapter. So $24, you can get streaming internet. You can turn see this TV, even though it's flat screen, it's not a smart TV. It's older and it doesn't have built-in smart TV capabilities. But by putting $24 device on it, I turned my old junky TV that I bought from Goodwill into a smart TV. So I can do all that right now. And even with Roku, what's really cool is I can actually stream a phone to the Roku unit. You're like, what's the significance of that? Significance of that is that on a phone, if you have like a huge memory card or something, you could store digital movies. So if you had movies that you liked that you didn't have time to watch, or YouTube videos that you downloaded while you had internet access let's suppose you didn't have Wi-Fi like I do on the phone plan, but you're at McDonald's or the library or whatever, you download the movie while you have free Wi-Fi connection to your phone, and you don't want to watch it on your phone, but you want to watch it on the TV here. You turn on your Roku, you stream it from you do like what's called a screencast or screen mirroring, I guess is what they call it. But you can send the phone image to the Roku, which will display it on the TV. So you can watch your phone on your TV. That's one way to do it. Now, we're not going to do the Roku, but this is just basically what Roku is. You can select from the channels you want. There's like thousands of channels. The one that I recommend, I haven't watched it all too much, but when I did watch it, Pluto TV, turns out it's almost like a full-blown cable company. It has real movies, and they make money off ads. They run lots of ads, but it behaves just like cable TV. Now it used to not be as good, but I think they've made it like cable TV now. So you can watch, I think they even have like MTV on there. They even have like CNN. They have like all the broadcast stations and stuff. So it's not like just crappy videos, it's real TV. And Tubi TV I haven't played with yet, but it's supposedly similar to Pluto. And then these were just some of the others and some of the stuff I like to watch. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and show you what else can be done. Now, I'm going to unplug the HDMI cable here. And this HDMI cable went to my my Roku, but I have a second HDMI cable, which I'm going to plug in right now. I'm trying to do everything one-handed here. Okay, that second HDMI cable, you see it says no signal, goes to this Legends Flashback. And what it is a game emulator. I got this, you guys know, I was trying to get the phone and a computer and all this stuff to set up gaming so that when my kids come to visit me, they would have something to do. I gotta turn the sound down because this is gonna be loud. This thing has like over 2,000 games on it, and I can install even more. It came with like 100 games, and I've installed about 2,000 games. So enough to keep me busy, enough to keep my kids busy. But basically, this Legends Flashback is the 2019 model, which I think is the latest one that they have right now. It retailed for about $44, $49. I waited at Walmart until they put it on sale, and they put it on sale for 25 bucks. So I bought it up. You know, I bought one for the RV, one for the van. I bought one for my kids so they could have it at their house. So, but basically, it acts like it runs like a Linux machine in here, and it runs a game arcade emulator. Now it's kind of limited, the version that's on here, so oops, I just turned it off. I might have to hack it if I can with new firmware update, but the current firmware on there, it runs MAME, ColecoVision, Sega, Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. It doesn't run Atari, which makes me kind of annoyed that it doesn't run Atari 2600. But anyhow, you cannot install MAME games on here, and even the ColecoVisions, because they have to be modified, because, you know, the ColecoVision has a numeric touchpad, and the controllers here, all they give you are these. They look, I guess they look like Nintendo controllers. So $25, I have a 2-player unit that I can play like Nintendo or Sega games. And just show you what the games look like. They have, I'm going to show you with one hand here. The arcade games are actually games from what's called MAME, Multiple Arcade Machine Emulator. So these are the games that you used to go to the arcade and plop quarters down and to play. So it's got like a whole bunch of pages of them here. So these are like MAME games. So let me try to find one here that maybe people will recognize. I don't know if some of you might see some of the titles and recognize, but one here that I think is pretty recognizable is Galaxian. Well, not Galaxian, but Galaga, the update to Galaxian. So we're playing just as if we were at the arcade. We're playing the real ROM, the code, the real code for the arcade. So this will play just like the arcade version. So I'm putting quarters in. Except the sound's not working. I don't know why sound's not working. Power might be low or something. What's going on? I don't have any volume. Or my HDMI cable's not plugged in right or something. Anyhow, normally I had the sound working. I just hooked it all up, so maybe I have a bad cable or something. But hard to play with one hand. But you can see it plays just like the arcade. I can't play with one hand, so I'm blowing up like crazy. What's really cool is it has a rewind feature. Let me try to show it here. It's hard for me to do it one-handed, but I can do this. See how it goes backwards? Look at that. They're going backwards. So watch me blow up, unblow up. So what's really cool is you can actually finish all games by rewinding. The sound's not working. It was working earlier. Either my HDMI cable is loose or the power, it's not enough power to, I think the power's low. See how the power's down here? So I'm gonna start the car up and you'll see how this works. When I notice the power run low, okay, I got my air. I got air and everything blasting everywhere. I was like, anyhow, I flipped this switch on, and you'll see this thing. It was down to 12, but now it's back up. And I don't know if sound's gonna work or not now. Sound's still not working. Yeah, it's playing music and you can't hear it, which means either the bad cable, or bad connection, or it decided it didn't have enough power and it turned off sound. I don't know. Sound was working originally, but it's not working now. It does work though. I mean, I had it working. So I can play MAME games on here. I can also, let me exit out of it. And I can also play, let me show you how I had like thousands of games installed on here. Go to quit game. And you'll see that, let me come over here. It's got console games, like it's got Aladdin. These are the games that it comes with. Let me turn the music off. So even if you're not a nerd like me, you can buy it and it's got like 100 games. So if you have like, you know, grandkids or if you're a kid at heart, you can play all these old games. These are like games from ColecoVision, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I think I even play Sega CD games. I don't know. But you can see Gargoyles, Judge Dredd, Jungle Hunt, Pepper, Omega Race, which is a bad version on that. I looked at it. Star Wars, Lion King, Tetris, and Venture, and Saxon. So you can play it like a gazillion games here. It's got like 100 games that comes default. But here, I'm going to get back to the menu here and show you something. When you scroll down here to where it says SD card, I installed a tiny little SD card and I downloaded. All you have to do is just search online, like ROM set or complete ROM set, Sega or SNES, complete ROMs or whatever. And then you download it and then you have to rename it. If you guys are really interested in doing this, I'll make a video later to show, or you can Google it, or, on YouTube. Search for it on YouTube. People will show you how to do this. But basically, I installed all these games. So these are like Sega Genesis games. Let me try to show you what they look like if you come up. So I've got like a couple 100 pages of games, and each page has 10 games on it. Let's bring one up. Try to find one that might be kind of fun to look at. Let's see here. What's this, Barney? Barney's Hide and Seek. Let's see if it plays Barney. Barney's Hide and Seek. I'm trying to get the sound working here. I don't know if the sound will work or not. So you can see it comes out, it says Sega. It's emulating a Sega right now. This is I think a Sega Genesis. So Barney's Hide and Seek. So if we wanted to, if I got really bored, I could play. I get the feeling sound isn't working. My cable might be bad or something. I don't know. It's supposed to have 5 volts, and I have it in this plug, which might not be generating 5 volts. I might need to get the adapter. So we got Barney here, and I miss Barney. Reminds me of the days when my kids were little babies, But anyhow, let's get out of here. You can get out by hitting the menu button or on the controller itself. So that was a Sega game. Let me get out of there and show you how I have the other games. I'm gonna go through the back where I have the Super Nintendo games. So these are Super Nintendo games that I have on here. Oops. SD card. Let me try to find something. Oh, Williams Arcade. Williams Arcade. Okay, so these have like the reproductions of the Williams games for the Sega. Williams greatest hits. So this one game has more than one game. So, those of you looking for cheap entertainment, hey, $25 at Walmart if you can get it on sale. If it's not on sale, it's $49. You might be able to get it online, but for $50, it's a great deal. For $25, it's a bargain. You spend $5 or $10 getting a SD card, and then you download the ROMs. And so it's like Defender, Defender 2, Joust, Robotron. Let's take a look at Joust here, which was one of my favorite games. And you can see this is Joust. Now, I'm going to do really sucky because, obviously, I'm playing like this with one hand and I'm filming with the other. So, and it's really weird. I don't know if it's going to do this, if it's going to let me do it, but I'm going to try to do a rewind. Look at that. You're all going backwards? So I didn't die after all. Did you see that? I don't know how they did it. It's like wizardry. They, in this console, in the emulator, put in a rewind feature that works on most of the games. So even though to be rewound, you can rewind a game like you would a VCR tape. So, if you've ever played a game that you can never get to the end, one, you have unlimited quarters, because it's emulated. So you can put in new quarters and keep going. Or if you're like me, you might just want a perfect score. So when you die on the game, just hit the rewind button, make it go rewind before you die, and then maneuver out of the way so you don't die. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, I don't know how they did it. Those guys are wizards. $25, folks. Anyhow, that's entertainment. So, I have this all set up. I don't really watch too much TV, but sometimes I do on a rainy day. You've seen it where we had that 3 days of rain before. So, with two battery banks, I can run the TV and watch, a whole bunch of shows. And if you can see the meter, it's charging right now, so it says 13. I know you guys can't see it, but it says, trust me, it says 13. I don't know if you can see that, 13.0. But if I'm in the vehicle watching TV and stuff and the power drops low, all I have to do is start the vehicle back up, throw my switch, and it'll charge the battery back up. Well, I don't even have to shut it all off. So I'm able to do all that right now. I am potentially going to install a solar panel up here, even though I don't really need it, because you can see I can charge everything up. But with a solar panel, because I'm working for the solar company, if they decide to sponsor the videos and stuff, I'll show how it's done. Even though for me, it kind of hurts a little bit because my van won't look stealth anymore. With the solar panel, people can tell you're probably living in it. With no solar panel, this van looks normal. It looks just like any van. Other than the people who have recognized this van. But I may go ahead, I will do that. I will go ahead and put a solar panel up there just to show how it's done. And what the solar panel will allow me to do is basically during the daytime when there's light, when the sun is shining, it'll keep the battery topped off. So I don't have to start the engine off to charge it. That means I could lay in here and run all three fans. You can see I have one here, and one on the other side. I have three fans. I usually only run one, but if I had a solar panel, I could run all three. I don't think it would be enough to generate to run air conditioning in here off solar, but I could run three fans if I wanted to. I could even run my swamp cooler, not worry about batteries running down. And you would use it during the daytime when it's hot. But see, during the daytime when it's hot is when it's generating the electricity. So that's what solar will give you. It's not really needed, but since I'm working for the solar company, the wholesaler, if they want to sponsor it, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna bother. But if they want to sponsor it, I'll go ahead and do it just to show people how to do it and show you what kind of panels you use for that. And if you want to order it, you can. The issue we're having right now with the solar company is, when I went over there, I found out that their panels, even though they're pricing them really cheap, shipping and handling will kill the whole deal. They're heavy. The panels are heavy, and shipping is not free. It's expensive. Shipping one panel could end up being like $40-50 or more. That destroys any value you got buying a used solar panel. And some of you are like, well, then how come you can get brand new solar panels and they get free shipping? It's because Amazon and eBay cut some kind of deal with the post office, and also if it's shipping from China, I think someone was telling me the Chinese government subsidizes shipping in China. So their shipping stuff here is completely free for them. They don't pay shipping. So when they sell something, they can sell it at direct price and not have to deal with shipping. The way shipping works, as far as I know, internationally, I think all the countries in the world had an agreement. I think this is how it works, because I was a mailman, because I was like, how do they afford this stuff? From what I understand, the origin country, like let's say the United States, takes the money from the person wanting to ship to Thailand. When it gets to Thailand, the Thai post office delivers it for free. You understand? So like let's say I wanted to ship to England. I would pay the postage to ship it to England in the United States at the post office. So the United States Post Office takes all that money, and then they send it via airplane or whatever, or boat, however long, whatever kind of shipping you do. It shows up in England, and in England, the mailman there delivers it for free. He doesn't get paid for it. And you're like, well, then that's not fair. Well, it also works the opposite way. So if someone's shipping something from England, they pay the post office in England, it gets to America, and me, while I was a mailman here, I went and I delivered it for free. So I think it's like an international agreement of some sort. That's how they do it. But here's the deal. I think in China, what they did to help their businesses, they made it so that those companies, when they ship something out, they don't pay at all. So they could ship you a huge ass solar panel that would cost $100 to mail here in the United States. They get to send it for free. So they sell it at the price and they offer it for free shipping. I think that's how it works. I'm not 100% sure, but someone was telling me that's how they do it. Well, coming back to why this is an issue. The solar wholesale that I work for, we're in the United States. So we got to pay shipping. So we're trying to figure out a way to do that, a creative way to get the panels to people. So if you're like in Orlando or nearby here, or I think they have a warehouse in Texas, I'm not sure, and maybe one in California, you can actually drive by the warehouse and pick it up. Then you get the good deal on it, you know. And for van dwellers, it might not be an issue because you're driving around anyways. So you could plan to go by there, pick it up while you're there, you know, and explore that area. But for people in their houses and stuff, it's not really worthwhile to buy one panel or two panels or three panels. So the company says that it's more economical when they ship like at least 10, you know, or a whole pallet full of panels. So I'm in process of right now of trying to devise a way where we can have, like, I guess, resellers, you know, scattered throughout the country in hot spots of locations where people want solar. So we would pay shipping for a pallet to show up, and then people would go pick it up over there. So the cost might be a little bit more expensive than coming here to the warehouse to pick it up, but at least it would be all over the place, and people would still be able to pick it up on the spot for lower than, you know, buying a brand new one. That's what we're trying to work out. I don't know what's going to happen with it. The details are still being worked out. And having to build a network is the big thing that we're trying to work out right now. So that's where things are right now. That whoever you are, I forget your name, that wanted to know, remember, it's called Roku, and they have different versions of this. You don't need to buy the expensive one. Get the cheapest one, the $24 one. That's what I have. And now the Roku doesn't allow you to do all this. The Roku allows you to get YouTube and TV and stuff. This $25 Legends Flashback is what allows me to do all this. And they have different versions of the Flashback arcade game unit. I picked this one because it had MAME on it, and it had the Sega and all those other console games. And I knew it had an SD card slot here. Oops, I think the cable came loose. That's it. My power connection is bad. So it has a plug in the back for an SD card. Let me show you. Let me turn that off here so I don't short things out. Turn off the unit here. No, I should shut off my car because I'm just wasting gas. All right. Hang on a minute. I had to shut off the battery's charged up. It says 12.6 on it. I know you guys can't see it. This phone's having a hard time with the lighting. I can't show you, but it says 12.6, 12.5. It's starting to drop back down. But just running it the few minutes that I was talking to you charged the whole system up. When you're charging through the alternator, it charges super, super, super fast. Like, I can charge the system up in about 15 minutes. I know people say, well, you have solar, it's really useful. To charge on the solar could take me hours or the whole day to charge the battery bank up. To charge on this thing, I just drive around for 15, 30 minutes and the whole system's charged up. Or I just sit there and start the car up while I'm parked and idle it for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and the system's charged up. So that's the power of charging through the alternator versus charging through solar. And also I can do it at night, you know, I don't have to have the sun out. I can do it when it's raining, I can do it when it's snowing. Basically, it's just a lot easier, and that's why I prefer that. But if you're just parked in the middle of nowhere and you're not, you know, you're conserving gas in that case because you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't want to just run your gas and not have any gas to get the heck back out of nowhere, then the solar panels are useful because then you can just sit there all day. And during the daytime when it's generating electricity, that's when you want to use it. So look forward to that. You can see I have a little keyboard here because I'm planning on doing some computer work from the vehicle. So I'll be converting this area here to a little work office space. You might see me working here just to show you that this van, even though it's a tiny little van, can be converted to a lot of different modes. It can be converted between the normal mode right here, which I leave it at, is like for sleeping. But I can convert it by putting the seat up, and I can sit back here and actually work like a little office. And that's what I plan on doing, to do my remote work. I've been doing some of the remote work from the RV, but it's kind of a pain to get into the RV and then generating electricity with the RV right now because it doesn't have the solar panels and it's just sitting there. I have to run the generator, and the generator uses gasoline, a lot of gasoline, but it generates enough power that I can run air conditioning and stuff. So I'm just experimenting to see what's going to be the cheapest, and the most versatile. And having the ability to do it from both vehicles is really cool. Having the ability to do it from my van is even better because the van's just a lot smaller and easy to navigate and do things with. Anyhow, it is getting dark here, and they're closing the park, so I got to get the heck out of here. But system's pretty much charged up as I drive. I'm going to let it charge up some more. It says 12.4. So, and I'm going to let it charge a little bit more when I drive by flipping the switch. If you want to know how to do that, check out the playlist, Cooking with Denoy from the very beginning, where you see all the various hookups. Or if you want to see how the van was put together, you want to look at the van build series. Later on, it has like modifications and stuff like that. Some stuff I do want to point out for those of you who are putting together your own van, stuff that may be kind of important. They were lessons that I learned while I was working on the van. You're going to see that on the initial build, I had the drawers and stuff on that side. Over there, I had it on that far side, and this side was empty. And you're like, well, why do you move all this to the driver's side, which means the van gets a little bit lopsided as far as weight. See, the TV, everything's over here. The seat, ideally, if I had the seat the other way, I'd have the TV on the other side. But the seat that I had, it went like this. It didn't go the other way. So anyhow, long story short, the drawers, they got moved from that far wall to this wall for this simple reason. I'll show you what it looks like. When you're sitting here driving and you turn to look, even though I have the windows shut right now, see how I can see out that little window? If I pull my curtains open, I have total visibility as if this was a regular driving van, a regular vehicle. It's just a safety issue. If I open the windows there, open the curtains, I can see out this side window and I can see out the rear side windows. Those are your blind spots where you could hit somebody when you're changing lanes and stuff. So if I had these drawers over there, it blocked all that. So that's why that was done. It was a safety thing, So that's pretty much it. There's also storage here, but you can watch the videos if you want the tour. Maybe I'll do an updated tour once I clean out the vehicle a little bit more and straighten it out and get the new little office, working here. So anyhow, I hope everyone's staying safe. I'm gonna just read some of your comments here. Kira, it looks like you're sick. The bronchitis. It sucks. Yeah, somebody was saying that my phone get HDMI hookup via a cable. Sadly, it turns out this particular model doesn't. I went ahead and I bought the adapter. I have what's called USB-C, and for a while Samsung was promoting it. Samsung's phone had HDMI out, and they had a connector and everything they were selling because they were trying to turn the phones into computers, which is what I want. And it didn't sell. So Samsung disabled that feature and started just killing it off on all their machines, I think. So most of the new phones, as far as I know from Samsung, they don't support that anymore. So this phone, even though it's fairly new, it's the Samsung A20. As far as I can tell, it does not have HDMI out, which kind of annoys me a bit. I was hoping it would have it because then, my idea was to have this phone be a computer. Then I don't need anything, But the way it is right now, I still have to carry around my little, computer to use as a computer. Just looking at here. Wow. I'm reading a note about Greater Bilby wrote about the guy that was waiting on his coronavirus testing, and then he broke the isolation and went on a plane to another country, and then was told that he was positive. So he potentially infected everybody on the airplane and anyone else he came into contact with. Let's see. Okay, just me is asking me to do a video, so maybe I will do a video showing everything, how you can install new games and stuff. Just walk you through the whole process. Normally you're not going to see anyone offering this, as far as the ROMs and stuff set to go. The reason for that is it's what's called a gray market, a gray zone. See, the ROMs themselves, a lot of them are still copyrighted. That means the company has copyright on them. So it's illegal, really, to distribute them, even though people have them on the internet. Whether it's legal to download them or not is debatable. So it's a gray zone. Now, the companies could put up a cease and desist, is it deceased order, and demand that those old ROMs, these ROMs are like 20, 30 years old. These games that you see me playing, they're like 20, 30 years old. The companies could demand that they be taken down, then they have to be taken down. But they seem to be ignoring it, So they're all over the place. But they're not public domain. So even the videos on YouTube and stuff, they will show you how to do it. They can even give you the link to do it. But a lot of them won't even give you the link, because if you give someone the link, then you're kind of responsible. But you could tell somebody what to search for. And if they search on their own, then they're responsible for themselves, if they want to break the law. Because it's kind of a gray area, looking here. Yeah, that I'm reading Rooster here. He's talking about the cheat, the built-in cheat. That rewind, I'm a computer programmer, and I know when they wrote these games, they didn't even foresee a rewind button. They were able to put in a rewind that works on most games. So I don't know what sorcery. I have an idea of how they do it. They must be, the emulator must have a thing called a state. It's like a state machine, like whatever state it's at. So it's not really recording the thing, but it's recording the machine state, which I don't understand how it could record the machine state, because it would seem like it would have a lot of stuff it has to save, not just like a byte or something, not just like one little instruction or one little byte, one little piece of data, but it has to record the machine state so it can rewind it back and then restart it from whatever state you want to. But that to me is just like, holy schmoly, whoever did that is like a genius. Just me wants to know if I can build systems for people. I cannot, for the reason that I stated. Legally, well, first off, finding the systems might be hard. I think the Walmart that I bought it from might have one or two left. Then they're all gone. I checked other Walmarts and I didn't see them. Because once people found out you could install other games on there, these things were selling like hotcakes. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're buying them on the aftermarket that they go for more than $50, possibly $100 or more. Because basically the system itself comes with 100 games. So even if you didn't know how to install or anything, it's got awesome arcade games on there, Sega games, Coleco games. And then if you take an SD card and just Google on YouTube, or go on YouTube or Google aggressive. I'm gonna shut my door, and you can hear the dogs being aggressive. They're being that aggressive, they might get aggressive towards me. But anyhow, I can tell you what to do. That finding the unit, is the thing. Finding it at $25, that's a bargain. If you can find it. Just reading here. All right. Somebody was asking me if I got toilet paper. Actually, I have plenty of toilet paper. Not that I bought any since the whole craziness with everyone hoarding toilet paper. I don't know if you guys saw my live stream the other day. I found a stash of toilet paper, and yeah, I didn't grab any because I didn't need it. But I decided to go on eBay to see what was going on with toilet paper, and somebody was selling a pack of toilet paper. I think like 6 or 8 pack, and there's been like 85 bids on it, and it's up to like $47,000. Yeah, you heard me. $47,000 for a pack of 8 toilet papers and 87 bids. Now, I'm not sure if that was just some people, bidding themselves to drive it up just to create a weird little situation, or it might be a YouTuber doing it with his buddies, one of the bigger channels that have money. Because whatever you bid, if you end up winning it, you have to pay that money because eBay takes a cut. PayPal and eBay takes their profit, their cut on the transaction. So I don't know, or they cancel it at the end. They may let people bid and then at the last second cancel. But I was like, you know, unbelievable. But I'm not a capitalist in that sense. I will capitalize on certain things, but not when it comes to stuff that people need. Like I think it's I think it's inhuman to take advantage of other people during a time of crisis. You know, when you see that somebody is, scared or whatever, and then you end up taking advantage of them, that's not human. That's not right. So I don't do stuff like that. And I really look down on people who do stuff like that. People who will buy up all of the available hand sanitizer and then go online and sell it for a huge profit. People say, well, that's capitalism at work. You're taking advantage of a situation, but that is capitalism. Capitalism is taking advantage of somebody, and that's what American society is kind of based on, which to me I don't really mesh well with. It's one of the reasons I'm like, thinking maybe I've been here long enough. I've been here since 1974. Well, here, kind of. I actually lived throughout the whole world because my dad was in the military, and we've been all over the world. But mostly the United States. So as I'm in my later years, I guess my twilight years, I'm thinking I may want to go back to Thailand, possibly to retire, die there. But haven't decided. Got to work things out with my wife and figure out exactly what we both want. But after living in America pretty much for it's been about 43 years. Yeah, I've been here I've been here more than 43 years. Been here, let's see, since 1974. What's that, 46 years? I've been here like 46 years. That's a long time. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to go back to Thailand. So I don't know yet, though. It just depends on what happens. For me, I've been staying here for my children to make sure that they're okay. I think they're going to be okay, even though my youngest son isn't fully grown yet. But, some of you might be like, why aren't you staying longer? Well, there may be health issues. I don't even know how long I'm going to last, how long I might stay alive, to be honest. Nothing to do with Corolla or anything, just health-wise. Um, those of you who followed me from the beginning, when I did the whole thing with, was it the presumed guilty channel? Remember we removed that? But it talked about it. I'm on borrowed time. I know you guys may not believe that, but me, the person that you see here on YouTube, this is not the Denoy that was. The Denoy that this started with more than 10 years ago was supposed to be dead. So I feel like the fact that I'm even here, that's why some of you see me in situations, you say, how come you're not scared of being out in the woods? How come you're not scared of all this stuff? Well, it's hard to be scared when you were already dead. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like I had already died. So the person that's here right now, even though it still is me, but it's not me. Because see, I can't even explain it to you, but the world is different. Yeah, you guys probably gonna think I'm crazy if I start talking too much about this stuff, but I don't really tell too many people this stuff. But since 10 years ago, when everything went down and my life fell apart and went to hell, it's been a different world for me. Like even the people, like people that I knew, they are different. They behave differently and stuff. So, when you start talking like that, people think you're crazy. So I don't talk too much about it, but I live with it and I'm dealing with it. And the world right now is kind of crazy. I mean, we're living a movie right now. You know, the whole thing with the coronavirus. I was just talking about it with some of my coworkers. Well, they're not really coworkers, but the customers at work at the space agency. Um, we were talking about it, and it's like it's surreal. It's like I don't know if you guys feel it. It's like we are all in a movie. Because it's unbelievable. It's just weird and unbelievable. So things are kind of weird all around, and I feel like I'm at the end of this phase. I don't know what's going to happen. I talked to my son about it. If he wants to come to Thailand, he's going to be old enough that he can make a decision, and I would help him if he wanted to. My daughter's old enough that if she really wanted to go to Thailand, I could possibly take her with me. But I don't know if I'm even going to go yet. I still got to work things out, work out the details, figure out the finances, how we're going to pay for everything, what I'm going to do, if I can actually retire there or if I have to get another job. You know, um, Stuff's still up in the air. But at least I now have the next point in my life, the next phase, if you want to call it that. So, this whole thing with YouTube was never intentional. Some people think that I wanted to be a YouTuber. Those of you who know me from the beginning know how it all started. It had to do with the Facebook group and people saying you could make money off YouTube. And then I went to investigate to see how you could make money off YouTube and whether it was possible to make money off YouTube. Well, I can tell you this. Maybe I'll do a follow-up to close it all out, because eventually I don't know if I'm going to stay on YouTube, if the channel's going to change or what's going to happen, but I should probably go back to the Living in a Van group where it all started and come back and say, well, it's been 4 or 5 years. I'm back. So I originally, when I was on the Facebook, people knew me because I was posting on there all the time, making sure everybody was okay, putting together the libraries, the file libraries, and all the stuff to try to help people. And then somebody suggested starting up a YouTube channel, and then I went ahead and decided to do that and pursued getting it monetized, seeing what would be involved and how hard it would be and the difficulties. And it turns out that some of the difficulties isn't even just getting the channel going and getting people there and stuff. It's dealing with all the hate and the trolls, and there's a lot of stuff that, like, I'm still being stalked by psychopaths. So, that's the biggest warning. Maybe I'll do a closeout show, episode, because this channel, as you see me with my life here, you guys know I'm going away, right? I've been wanting to go away for several years now, but viewers keep asking me to stay. So I've been staying, but I feel like I'm near the end. And, frankly, I'm tired of dealing with all the trolls and haters. And they think they've won. I'm like, you didn't win jack shit. You're just morons. You just showed the world that you're morons. But the point I'm trying to make is all that stuff hadn't been accounted for because people don't talk about that, and then the channels that do well on YouTube, they tend to be actually, they're not really real. It's a business. So if you went into YouTube as a business and allocated money and funding and stuff like that, you could probably do it as a business, but you kind of really need a crew and you need really good stuff. You need an editor, you need people who can do all this stuff. If you're planning on doing it on your own with you and your girlfriend or you and your wife, it's probably going to be kind of difficult. A lot of the people that you see with really nice vans and stuff like that, they probably have sponsor. The company's kind of hidden. There's a company probably sponsoring them already, providing them with the van and the money for the build and all that stuff. I really, the channels that I've seen that have like just a single person or two or three people, most of them struggle. Although a few look like they might be legitimate. Like what was that Van City Van Life? I think he's legitimate. And just incredible. Even Nomadic Fanatic, yeah, you can see his struggles until now. He's somewhat successful now, but he has to deal with all the trolls and haters and just they're just psychopaths out there. And honestly, for what you make on YouTube, it's not really worth it for most people. Even for me, if I stay in a regular job and just work a regular job, I can make more and not have to deal with all the crap from. I would say this. I would say about 75 to 85% of the viewers are nice. But then you get those others that are not so nice. And then you get the 1 or 2% that are psychotic and they stalk you and they threaten your family and they try to get the police to kill you. They try to get you killed. They try to get you fired. They try to do all sorts of crazy stuff that I'm like, wow, these are mentally ill people. And when you put yourself out on YouTube, they come. They come because, that's their whole life. That is their life. So I might even share some of that and maybe even show some screenshots and stuff just to show the kind of stuff a YouTuber, even a small one, endures. And, I know a lot of people say coming in, they think that they want to do this, but then when they see the downside of all the weirdos, it's possibly not worth it. I would say for the majority of the people, it's not worth it. Tim's saying all the people on Facebook are getting nasty with each other. Maybe I need to go back on there and remove some postings or remove some people. Or you're free to do that too, Timothy. You're an admin on there now. Um, People can be so mean, but it's like this whole thing with the coronavirus. And I'm not talking about just social media, but just talking about people in general. I got so disappointed and so sad in watching how people behave. I mean, I saw that it was calm, which made me feel good. I saw the other day some lady bought flowers. That was good. But when I didn't really see it personally. I hear about it. People fighting over toilet paper. People buying every single case of hand sanitizer that comes in and then going on eBay or Amazon to jack up the price. That's not capitalism. I mean, that is capitalism, but it's evil, you know? It's you're capitalizing on fear. You're capitalizing on a crisis. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like I can see like these game units. I think it's a great deal. I could buy them all up, and resell them. I could buy them at $25 and resell them at even without me modifying them with the new games and stuff. I could resell them for 50 or even $75. Wait until they're all gone. They'll probably go up to 75 to $100 because people want them. They're really nice. That's capitalism. They're buying it as a luxury item. Then it's not a necessity. I guess that's where I draw the line. Like for example, you can have different rice cookers. Okay, the one I buy is the $14 one, $15 one. I think they might have jacked the price up to 19. It's 15 to $19. It's the low end one, and you can use that to cook. But people will produce ones that are better quality and sell them for $100. Now, in a hurricane or a crisis situation where people can only generate a limited electricity, they might want the cheap $15 one. And I can see the price of that going up a little. But if you went and you bought the entire stock from the store, all the store shelves, and then you jacked it up to $200, which some people would pay, to have the ability to cook rice on a solar panel or something, I think that's not human. There's something wrong with you. People say, "No, you're smart. You're seeing an opportunity to make a lot of money." Yeah, but you sold your humanity to do it. I can see if maybe you bought it for $15, you sold it for maybe $20 or $25. I can understand that, a little bit of profit. But when you start jacking it up to $200, You know, I myself would never do that. You know, in a hurricane situation or whatever, I might tell people where it is and they can get it themselves. You know, I wouldn't even buy it and jack it up to $25 because I think you're taking advantage of people in a panic situation. And that says something about you and your personality and your life. You know, the life you live and what you project, that's your life, man. You get one shot at it. Some people wonder why I behave in ways that seem like they're counterproductive to me being successful. It has to do with your belief, your core belief. What are they? I will not lie about things, you know. I will not do certain things. And because of that, it causes me to sometimes quit a job, even though people say that's putting you in a bad situation to quit a job when you need the money. I won't work a job just for money. You know, there has to be something more than that. I might do it temporarily. I say, you know, I could do this for 2 or 3 months. I can do this for 2 or 3 years. I can do this because I know there's an end to it. I could not do this for the rest of my life because then I'm not really living. I was just born to do this menial task that really means nothing. It's insignificant. You know, I do believe that when you do anything, even though some of you feel like you don't feel you're that important, I'll let you know you are important, um, and you can determine the importance. And some of you might not understand what I'm saying, but I've seen people on this channel and on the Pay It Forward be kind to one another, and you might not understand how important that is. And you know, when you show that kindness, like one of the kindest people, you guys bump into her all the time on here, you know, is Kira. She's been there since the beginning. She's kind of senses when I'm kind of down and stuff. There's some behind the scenes stuff some of you don't know, but I have some friends on here. I normally don't make friends on Facebook or YouTube and stuff, but I'm allowed a couple people into my personal circle to be, you know, friends, like real friends. And they're just kind. You know, to me, a kind person is a gazillion times more important than a wealthy person because wealth means nothing in the end. You know, when you die, you can't take it with you. And honestly, if you acquired that wealth by being an asshole, taking advantage of other people, you know, capitalizing on somebody's fear, you're evil. Your life is evil. That's how you're going to be remembered. You're not going to be remembered because you were kind or compassionate. You're going to be remembered because you were an asshole that took advantage of other people. You're inhuman. So those are my little guide points, and it's the reason I'm in the mess I'm in, you know, because I have certain beliefs that are core beliefs, and they're core beliefs, which means I will not break them. If you don't have core beliefs, things that guide you, then your life is going to be kind of messed up because it means that once you sell yourself, like somebody says, you should do this or whatever, even though it breaks your core belief. You know what? You should have bought all this toilet paper and resold them. I could have bought like the 8 packs of toilet paper. I think they were selling for $4 or $5. Probably could have got $10 or $15 per pack. Just buy them and stand out in the parking lot. Man, that's like 8 times what? 8 times 15? I could make more than $100 after I subtract my cost. I could have made $100 standing out there in the parking lot for 15, 20 minutes at Walmart. Why wouldn't I do that? Well, I wouldn't do that. Some people say because he's an idiot. He's stupid. No, it's because I don't think it's right to take advantage of other people like that. And you might be able to do it, and the person who gets it from you could even be thankful you got them the toilet paper because, you know, going into the store, they would have had to fight somebody for it. It wouldn't be there or whatever. Um, you can try to justify it. And for some people, they can make that justification and be okay with it. For me to jack something up like that, you know, no, no go. Now, if conversely, though, if let's say I was meeting a group out in the middle of nowhere and they didn't have toilet paper, I might buy it and take it out there and resell it a little bit higher for, the cost of transport and stuff and my time. But buying it from Walmart's shelf and going into the parking lot and jacking the price up, that's being an asshole. I guess some people call them scalpers, scalping toilet paper. Timothy says he begged those people to stop before he kicked them out. You shouldn't have to beg them, Timothy. You're an administrator there, but yeah, just ask them nicely. Just remind them nicely. You're a lot nicer than me. I tend to kick them out, and then they have to beg to come back in. So I'm a little meaner. That's why I get the trolls and haters. And you're like, that's why people hate you, Denoy, because you're an asshole when you do that. No, I believe that you're grown up, to be on Facebook, to be in those groups. And I shouldn't have to babysit you. I babysat first graders. You're not first graders. And even the first graders knew, when Mr. DeBoer said something, he meant it. You can ask any of my students. They were top-notch students because I expected that from them. Even when I'm not around, I expect that from them. It has to do with your core beliefs. And my belief is that, if you're grown up, you need to behave like a grown up. And if you're in a support group, you need to understand that it's first and foremost a support group. If you're attacking other people, you're not supporting them. If you're making fun of other people, you're not supporting them. And, those are the things that really irk me because they obviously don't even know that the group is a support group. If we have information, we even have a lot of people don't even know we have all that database that I set up, the files and all the links, and allow people will complain about other people promoting their business on that channel, on the Living in a Van Facebook group. And they don't understand that I allow that. And the reason I allow that is you got to make money somehow. And I'd rather have people make money legally, selling t-shirts, emblems, or stickers or whatever, or even promoting their YouTube channel or their Instagram or whatever, so that they can make money and continue living in a van because that's what they do and they enjoy and that's what they like to promote. There's nothing wrong with that. So I get people reporting that all the time, and then they don't know why I get mad at the ones that are reporting me that stuff. Because I'm like, hey, you're reporting something that's allowed. You need to review the rules, Or they would report people that go onto the group asking for money or even begging for money. Some people say, my vehicle broke down, I need money. And then they would start all this hate towards that person. And then they don't understand why I kick out instead of the beggar. You're like, why are you letting the beggar stay there? And you're kicking out the people who are trying to remove the beggars. And I'm like, do you not understand? Go back and read again. This is a support group. This is a support group. And, my motto has always been, you can help someone on any situation. You can help them, you can ignore them, or you can hurt them. If you help them, that's your choice. If you ignore them, that's your choice. If you hurt them, that's your choice. But now it's my choice to kick you out because you don't know what support means. So either you can support someone, you can not support them, or you can go against them. And if you go against them, I kick your ass out. And that's why I have Timothy gets surprised that I have, it seems like as soon as a video goes up, I have hundreds of hate. It's actually like a handful of people that are psychotic. And it's because I kicked them out of the group or I kicked them out of YouTube or whatever, because I don't put up with bullshit, and I don't put up with hate. I don't put up with people putting down other people. I sometimes have people come here and try to talk smack about other people on my channel, and I generally remove them. And oftentimes I'll warn those people, don't do it. Don't bring other people. Don't be talking bad about other people on this channel. Whether it's true or not, it's debatable. And even if it is true, find another forum for it. This channel's not for that, and neither is the Living in a Van group. Okay, although if there's a true scam going around that's like current and stuff, and people are getting ripped off, yes, we would appreciate you trying to keep people from getting scammed. But if somebody's just asking for money, and like let's say one, I'm going to give you an example that annoyed a lot of people. There was a young couple that went on there and said, we want people to donate money to help finance us living in a van and going around and doing all these fun things. And they had a GoFundMe, and people jumped on their case, and then they can understand why I allowed that posting to stay. All you have to do is ignore those people, and if those young kids that want to do that annoy you, block them. They will cease to exist in your social media, access to YouTube or Facebook or whatever. If somebody wants to finance some kids that want to travel for free, more power to them. You know, I can't afford to help those young kids. I can barely make it myself, but I'm not gonna hurt them. Now if they did that every day and kept putting that stupid posting up, I would tell them, hey, no more postings. Limit the number. Don't spam the channel with your crap. You can put it in a link on one of the text entries. That's what it's there for. But don't be spamming the Facebook group with your advertising every day or every week or whatever. Every so often is fine. Like maybe once every month or every couple months. But if you're doing it all the time and then people start complaining about it, that's too much of spamming. At that point, you need to stop, or I'll remove you from the group, because it's not, you're spamming. Spam is never a good thing. If you're asking, it's a difference. There's a difference between asking for help and spamming. Okay. But those are the kind of stuff that I expect people to know. And if they don't, sometimes I do jump in there. I try not to jump in too much as administrator, because I would hope that everybody there is a grown up, even though obviously, Timothy, you're starting to see sometimes the grown ups are worse than kids. Anyhow, it is getting dark. The ranger's going to come and kick me out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. If you guys enjoy these kind of chats, you're going to want to make sure you move with me to the Pay It Forward channel. I think we're up to 951. We are less than 50 people away before that channel goes live. So this particular channel, Living in a Van, will shift mostly to just van-related stuff. A lot of my personal drama may end up being deleted or removed off this channel permanently. So if you want to see the previous story and how we got to where we are and follow the whole thing, you can binge watch the playlist. If not, it's okay. But don't be surprised that once Pay It Forward comes up, this channel starts to kind of disappear, other than van related stuff and content that shows people how to live in a van, and maybe promotional stuff. If the company that sponsor me, the Solar Wholesale LLC, I may produce some projects for them, and maybe other companies if they decide to sponsor me. Just it'll be a source of income. But the Pay It Forward is where you're going to find me just chatting and stuff, and also we'll be trying to generate revenue there that will be applied towards helping the group. So, and that's what the plan has always been. Although Pay It Forward could end up, in the long run, depending on what happens, it could end up being assigned to somebody else. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what the future is. I do know, want to make sure that I get it launched, get it going, get the system set up, get it running somewhat smoothly. And that way people who don't have any other networks or help assistance available have somebody, and that is the group. So until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Stay safe. And remember what I would say. And, I think this is the most important lesson in everything. Be kind to one another. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye now.